What's AF asterisk cked up fact you just can't believe is true?
Some guy once donated his dead mother's body for medical research, then found out the donation facility sold it for $5,000 to the US Army, which strapped it on a chair and blew it up.
The Taylor oil spill. So far it's leaked over 1 million gallons of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. It started leaking in 2004, before Deepwater Horizon, and is still leaking oil into the Gulf today. Next to nothing being done about it.
You are more likely to be bitten by a New Yorker than a shark.
In many countries in the world, cannibalism is actually legal. The only illegal thing is the way you obtain it. It's made that way so that plane crash survivors won't be prosecuted for, surviving.
The X-ray machine is largely responsible for the child protective movement. In the 40s and 50s, cases for shaken baby syndrome were noticed, causing a large push in child protection.
Ants have passed the mirror test. Few people know this.
JFK's convertible wasn't scrapped after he got shot in 1963. A roof was welded on, and it was used by Presidents Johnson, Nixon, Ford and Carter right through to 1977.
There are 8 sunken nuclear submarines.
I guess not really a fucked up fact for most people, but Harold Shipman was my father's family doctor, so when I was a baby, I was held by a serial killer who murdered hundreds of people. Every so often, I remember that fact, and yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
You're statistically more likely to randomly die during a USA Powerball lottery drawing than win it.
Fungi are much closer related to animals than either one are to plants, and specifically to protostomes, bugs and worms of all sorts. Fungus cell walls are made of the same polymer that arthropods' exoskeletons are made of, and are coded for by the same gene. There have been proposals to reclassify fungi in the animal kingdom.
A meteor exploded over Earth in December 2018 with the force of 10 atomic bombs, and everyone missed it. This wasn't discovered by NASA scientists until after the fact. The reason it went largely undetected is because it took place over the Bering Sea in an area that was close, but not directly on the path of commercial planes flying between North America and Asia.
Human placentas now contain microplastics.
The second most expensive house, and one of the biggest slums of the world, are in the same city. Antilia, $1 billion, is owned by India's richest man, Mukesh Ambani, and Dharavi, one of the biggest slums, both in the city of Mumbai. And Antilia is second to Buckingham Palace, $2.9 billion.
The number one cause of death for pregnant women is murder.
In some countries, children inherit debts of their deceased parents.
We put a man on the moon before we put wheels on a suitcase.
Over 50% of Americans do not have access to $1,000 in case of emergency.
France executed their last person by guillotine the same year Star Wars: A New Hope came out.
One of the more famous politicians here in Hungary got a suspended jail sentence, and a little financial penalty for the possession of more than 19,000 pedophilic photographs. He got away with it just like that. Who TF let that happen? Edit, the name's Khalida Gabor. I wasn't trying to hide his identity, I just figured people would find him on Google anyway from the information I've given. But yeah, he does have a name.
The youngest person to ever give birth was 5 years old.
Elephants can control their dick like a second trunk.
Some random dude in Soviet Russia saved the entire world from nuclear annihilation on a hunch the incoming missile warning was wrong. Edit, his name was Stanislav Petrov.
The Vatican archives are something like 50 miles of information that almost nobody can see unless they know it's there and put in a formal request to see a specific thing. My understanding is that nobody can enter just to browse.
During World War II, Japan bombed China with fleas infected with the bubonic plague.
I grew up Africa. Edit, Zambia. When we were 5 we were told not to swim in dirty water because of bilharzia, schistosomiasis, microscopic worms that burrow into your skin or enter up your urinary tract and then lays eggs inside your body.
The CIA faked a vampire attack. I mean, they really murdered a guy to achieve it. But something about the whole blood draining thing really takes it to the next level.
In the beginning, DuPont fucked up their non-stick Teflon pans. They knew high exposure to the stuff was bad, but they never did anything about it. As a result, traces of forever chemicals can be found in 98% of the American population, and probably beyond.
A lot of people probably buried their hamsters alive because they didn't know hamsters hibernate.
That sharks have been around longer than trees. Yes, trees,